Come here now, girl.
Hello and welcome to the Map of the Year series with me, BonBonB. I'm BonBonB, you're very, very welcome. Well, if you've just joined us, this is part 4 of 6, meaning you've already missed 6 of the very best maps of the year. So do check out my playlists under Map of the Year and all will be good. Now today we've got 2 maps that have a few things in common with each other. First of all, they both look amazing. Secondly, loads of build plane, flat build plane, which is good. Thirdly, they're not overly detailed. And fourthly, you don't need many items off of the workshop to run either one of them. This particular map you need 6 plus a theme and LUT, and the latter map we just need 2 items plus the theme and LUT. Let's crack on with this map. Now this map isn't actually one of my finalists, but it's going to have to do as a substitute, you'll see why in a moment. It's South Fork map 1957 by It's OK. Now, I wanted to have South Fork map 1951 by It's OK, but one of the requirements for that map, a highway, is broken. It's missing. It's dead. And it's broken the map. So it's okay if you're watching this, if you could just replace those highways, that would be really, really good. Because honestly, for me, that is one of the maps of the year. It just stands out. It's a great map. Not that this isn't a great map, but it's inferior for a number of minor reasons. First of all, we're losing all the build plane in these river valleys. In the 1951 version map, this is before this valley gets flooded with the dam. So you get the river running along the bottom. When we pull back here, you can actually see the river is still gouged out. And for me, that's another slight downside of this map. I would like to have seen that river at the bottom of this valley smoothed out a little bit from erosion. I mean, basically, if you've got this much water standing on it for a long while, that'll be smoothed out a little bit. It won't be quite so gouged as you can see from up here. Very, very clear. I don't mind being able to see where the original river was. It just would have leveled out a lot more. So smoothing that out would improve this map. That's not saying that this is a bad map. It really isn't a bad map. It's a very, very good map. And it's an adequate substitute for the 1951 map until the 51 map is fixed. And I really did want to include the 51 map in the final list. So this is the 1951 map flooded. Hopefully you'll get a pretty good vibe of what the 51 map would have looked like or would look like. And hopefully, like I say, hopefully It's OK we'll fix that map and people will start loving it because it deserves to be loved. I mean, It's OK does do a lot of great work, including their own themes and LUTs. This particular map has the South Fork map 1957, 1951, 57 theme, and the South Fork map 1951, 57 LUT as well. So it all comes together to give a real, the redness of the stone. I love the colour. The green of the grass is amazing. Again, not overly detailed. We haven't got too many trees. And I know that does put a few people off, maybe because the processor that you're running just can't handle the number of trees. And that's fine. That's a valid reason. Of course, there are all sorts of different people with all sorts of different systems and all sorts of different desires. And that is why I'm trying to cover a wide range of maps in my final 12. This one looks great. This one looks absolutely great. I gave it 4 for aesthetics, 4 for detail, and 4 for gameplay potential in the original review. And anything that gets 4s across the board is an excellent map. But yes, the 1957 version, it's okay. It's okay by It's OK. I just would prefer the 1951 version. We'll pull back and get a good overview of the entire build area here. Now, I just want to apologise very briefly if I'm sounding a bit breathy and croaky. I'm actually down with quite a nasty summer cold at the moment, and the sooner I can kick it, the better. I really wanted to get ahead on my recording schedule, but it's not happening, so I am just struggling by day, getting these final reviews out for you guys in time. So anyway, the South Fork map 1957 by It's OK. It's good, but if the 1951 version is fixed, grab that one instead if you like this map. because it's superior. It's definitely superior. Right, what's our finalist today? And the answer is a creator who was actually in the Map of the Year series last year with what I would call the 7th place map. Now, don't think being a runner-up means being a loser, because there are no losers here. This is the Map of the Year series. I'm picking out what I consider to be the 12 best maps of the year. And, well, they are all winners. But I've got to somehow narrow that down to 6 finalists and 1 map of the year. You can sit down, make your own list and come up with a completely different 12. Maybe with some overlap from mine, possibly. And a different map of the year. It's an impossible task. Anyway, last year this creator sent out a lovely map called Rolling Hedgehog's Coast. And it was the one when I was looking at a list of 7 maps and I had to cross one of them off the list to make the series work. And it was Rolling Hedgehog's Coast. On another day, if I got out of bed the other side, if I'd, had a cooked breakfast rather than cereal, maybe they would have been a finalist. Impossible to say. This year, however, they are a finalist because Raffa created Amboy. And it is perfect. Absolutely perfectly glorious. Well, how come I only gave it 4 stars for aesthetics, 4 for detail, and 5 for gameplay potential if the map is perfect? How did it not get 5, 5 and 5? Well, unfortunately, that's not quite how the ratings work on my shows. How could it have got 5 stars for detail and 5 stars for gameplay potential? Well, by going to town on the detailing. That's it. It's a little bit sparse on detailing. But I am really glad that they didn't, because that would have taken away from one of the main strengths of this map, and that is that it's devoid of detailing, that you don't have to demolish huge areas to be able to build, that you haven't got trees under highways, that you don't have to subscribe to more than just 2 different sets of trees off of the workshop, plus the Stray Cats theme, Homecoming, which is one of Raffa's own work, and the Relight Neutral LUT. You don't need to do any of that. It's just enough. There are patches of woods to help break things up, to help detail the highways. The highways which follow, I believe, a close to real life routes that you'll find at Amboy, which is a completely different thing. We'll talk more about Amboy in a moment. We'll keep talking about the map for a moment. It's just enough. Just enough. I think if there was any fewer, it would start to look properly sparse. But it doesn't look sparse. It looks maybe a little bit patchy. And that is where the extra star for aesthetics and the extra star for detail went missing. But is that a fault? Not really. Not really at all. And I'm really glad that Raffa knew where to draw the line in the sand and to say, no, this is all the map needs. A little bit simplified, but that's fine. Absolutely fine. And very playable. Hence 5 stars for gameplay. Now, we've got a real life location here. And one I'd never heard of. And you would have thought that I would have done. I know there's a lot of people on the other side of the pond going, what? How have you never heard of Amboy or Perth Amboy? Now, Perth Amboy. Perth equals Australia. So maybe this is a suburb of Australia. But no, it's not. It's not. And there's a lot of you shaking your heads in disbelief again that I don't realise this. It's actually part of New York. It's, in fact, one of the land masses that you see here. I think possibly the one we've just flown over before crossing the water. Could be wrong there. Is Staten Island. Now, Staten Island I have heard of. Okay, especially the famous ferry. So, yes, Staten Island I know is part of New York. This is kind of the South End. South End? South End. Have an ice cream. Sorry, that's England, isn't it? Yeah, sorry. The southern end of Staten Island and the southern end of New York. Now, obviously, this is not skyscraper centre. This is not where you see all those great big tower blocks. This is more your suburban kind of small towns interlocking, merging into one big conurbation kind of area. And you do kind of get that vibe from the way that, like, it's so green. It is so green, isn't it? Oh, love it. Absolutely love this. And of course, Raffa and their intersection work is just sublime. All of these roads are just beautiful. You kind of want to drive them, don't you? You just kind of want to get down there and actually have a drive. Then we have the bridges. No custom bridges here. Could easily have been done. Could very easily have been done. But no, we've stuck with the vanilla stuff. And they are done just perfectly. Got no complaints about this at all. We'll head across to this fine little bit of landmass over here. And maybe do a spin, pull back, and I'll show you the map as an overview in a few moments. So yes, this just shines. Not too complicated, not too detailed, real life location, huge buildable areas. But before we conclude this flyover, let me jump ahead of myself a little bit and look towards the end of this series. Because we have 2 shows left to go, 4 maps. Now, on New Year's Day will be the map of the year, where we'll have a look at, for me, probably, possibly, the 2 maps that you guys would be most likely to have chosen to be map of the year yourselves. For me, there was only one winner, and I go by and I stick by that. I think there was only one winner this year, personally. The only clue I'm going to give you is that both of those 2 maps are vanilla. So those people that want a vanilla map, I think you're going to be very happy this year. But tomorrow we have 2 maps that fit the non-realistic or fantasy genres. The first one up will be a fantasy style map. We'll give you some amazing backdrops, huge potential to do all sorts of things with that particular map. And yes, I think a lot of fun to be had with it. So it's one of those maps that will be a lot of fun. And then my finalist tomorrow, a map that doesn't fit the fantasy genre, fits the non-realistic genre, fits the genre that is a map that is designed with city skylines in mind. And last year's runner-up, which I said many a time, if I hadn't gone with the massively over-detailed Crimson Cordilleras as my winner, because it was just massively beautiful and stunning and never seen anything before like it in my life. Well, it would have been Zero Divide's New Orkney, which was a perfect playable map. And we've got one of those this year as well, and so I'm going to be choosing that as my finalist in tomorrow's show. But you're going to have to wait until then to find out which particular map it was. But anyway, enough of that. Let's talk a last little word or two about Amboy by Raffa. Look at that. Loads of build space, loads of water, loads of realism, not overly detailed. It's just lovely. And even the highways are just slick and smooth. I just can't complain about this map at all. Absolutely love it, Raffa. Be interesting to see what you've got for us, if anything, this year. Right, let's settle this camera now, and we can just about finish the show on maybe this screenshot here. So anyway, that's it from me. Thanks for watching, for commenting, for liking and subscribing. Hit that notification bell if you don't want to miss any of my stuff that's coming up soon. I do have a second channel as well if you want to go and have a look at some non-city skyline stuff, but the link is in the description. It's up to you. I've been BonBonB, you've been very welcome, and I will see you very soon.